Well, hello, whale watchers. This is Luke Parsons, Park Ranger here at the Depot Bay Whale Center. We're going to give this one more shot here today for our live stream for March 23rd. We're having some technical issues here this morning, which keep dropping our signal for some reason. So, like I said, we'll give it one more shot here today. And if we do drop the feed this time, we will just go ahead and be done for today, and I apologize. So if you look back and find our first stream from this morning, we started off with a whole bunch of whales, and it has just continued to be a pretty decent morning for whale watching here on the Central Oregon coast. So we're already up to 12 or 13 whales for the day, and I've got one in close here still that's trying to find some food, and so kind of keep an eye out for this one, hopefully get a good look at it. But I will also go ahead and zoom out to some of our further buoys. Most of our whales that we have seen today have been about 1.5, maybe 2 miles offshore, and pretty busy day so far. So lots of whales. We had lots of viewers earlier, and I apologize again for our stream dropping like it has been this morning. We'll have to kind of look at that and see what's going on. But we'll give it one more shot, like I said. So stay tuned. Got some sea lions jumping off the buoy right now. And as soon as I see some whales, I'll get the camera pointed right at them. Thanks for being here. All right, whale watchers, that did not take very long. I've got a little whale right on the camera right now. Just had a few nice spouts right there. It should be right in the center of your screen. This one's pretty close. It's about, 3/4 of a mile away. And it's also in kind of a popular feeding spot in the summer months. And so probably not much going on right there in terms of food, but this whale seems to be kind of looking in that general area. So we'll try to stay with this one for a few minutes if we can. And I'm going to keep looking out a little further, see if we can't find some bigger whales out on that migration route. So stay tuned. If you've got any questions, let us know in that chat box. I got it back up and running over there. So looks like about 30 people have found us again. Awesome. Thank you for being here. So stay tuned. More whales are on the way. right, well, I just missed it. It was kind of in the very bottom of the screen, that big spout, and then part of that whale's back. So there's actually two whales could be visible in the camera right now. We've got one feeding less than a half a mile away, and then one a little bit further back on the horizon. So let's see if we can see those whales come up again. All right, we're just kind of watching and waiting here. Just had that whale spout. It's a little bit further out, so I've kind of got the camera pointed in that area. And of course, as soon as I do that, the one in closer spouts also. And I didn't catch it on the camera, sorry. Let me zoom out here just a little bit. So we've got two gray whales kind of feeding in the bay right now, here in Depot Bay. So, there's one right in the center of the screen. Let me try to zoom in. There's his back. This whale, so a lot of times we will see the tails when they do a big deep dive, but where that whale is right now, it's only about 20 feet deep. And if you're a 30-foot whale, or a 40-foot whale, you don't have room to do a big full dive. And so they just kind of swim down to the bottom without really throwing their tail up in the air. We see the big tail flukes or the dives out in a little deeper water. Okay, there's the spout again. Let me zoom in here. Should be right in the center of the screen. Hopefully we get another view of this gray whale right here in the middle of the bay. So I hope you're enjoying the feed wherever you're from. I see we got some commenters. There's the whale. There's its head kind of sticking out. There's its back. Maybe get one more dive out of this one more spout. Sometimes when we see the head out of the water like that, they're going to do a little deeper dive, but you never really know. There it is, another spout just kind of behind that wave. This one's just kind of hanging out right on top. It's literally just a few hundred yards away from us now. Kind of zoom out and show you. It's pretty close. It's right in the center of the bay. There's the spout. There's its back. We might see part of a tail, maybe. Nope. Again, it's pretty shallow where that animal is right now, but we'll try to keep up with it. It's kind of moving right across the center of our view here right now. So this is pretty good. You know, we've had a good mix of whales today. A lot in the kind of typical migration distance, kind of 1.5 to 2 miles out. But we have been able to watch this gray whale right here in the center of our bay off and on throughout the morning. So it gives us a good chance to see one up close and personal. So stay tuned. We'll keep the cameras going here as long as we can. Thanks for being here. If you want to learn more about whale watching in Oregon, be sure to visit our state parks website. That's www.oregonstateparks.org. And there you'll be able to, oh, there was that spout in the back there too. There you'll be able to update yourself on all of the latest closures that are happening right now. And then also you'll be able to find a ton of great information about in the future when everybody is able to come out and travel again. We'll hopefully see a lot of you folks here. So stay tuned. Okay, well, we had a few nice spouts from that whale out there. It's about 3/4 of a mile out. Got a huge flock of gulls swimming by right now. Oh, they're all scattering. That means, yep, there he goes. The big bald eagle just kind of flew over my head here. Sometimes those bald eagles, when they fly by, they kind of scatter all the birds that are out and about. And so let me actually kind of pan the camera back to the center. I know that there's one gray whale right in the middle of our bay right now, and I really want to catch it again when it comes up. It should be very, very close to us here, hopefully, and I hope that we're able to get a good look at it. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to catch this gray whale on the camera as it's right here in front of us somewhere. All right, I just saw it come back up. It is just a few hundred yards in front of our windows here at the Depot Bay Whale Watching Center. And so there it is. It's right on the top. There's its head. Let's see if we get another couple of views of it. So it's kind of blowing some bubbles right under the water right now. I had a person earlier ask questions, do gray whales sneeze? And I guess that might be the closest we get to see a whale sneeze. And so let's keep watching. It's right here in the center of the bay. Nice big spout. There's its head. There's its back. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so this one, that was spout number 3. Let's see if we get another one here. I'll get really close. All right, everybody. Well, that whale has obviously dove down underwater here for the last couple minutes, but any minute now it should pop back up right in front of us. This one is definitely the closest whale that I have seen in the last several weeks. It's literally just a couple hundred yards in front of us right now. So stay tuned. And hopefully we get another few good looks at it. If you're just joining us, the weather today is pretty cloudy, but we've got some good light right now. And when we first started our stream for the day, we had whales all over the place. I think in the first 20 minutes we were streaming today, we had about 8 different whales that we were able to see. And those whales were all out about 1.5 miles to 2 miles out, and they were definitely migrating north. They were not sticking around. But for the last half an hour or so, we've been able to watch 2 gray whales right here in our bay. And these ones appear to be looking for some food. And this whale that I was just tracking was literally just a couple hundred yards away. So any minute now, that one should pop back up. And hopefully we get a few more great looks at it. We've got some folks with us here in Florence, Oregon, Phoenix, Arizona, and somebody also here in Depot Bay. Awesome. Thank you. And I hope you're enjoying the stream wherever you are with us from. And stay tuned, and let's look for some more whales. All right, whale watchers. Well, this is a real treat. This whale is now less than 100 yards away from our shore. It's so close, I don't even think I had the camera zoomed out far enough. So it is literally swimming right towards us right now. It's going to come, hopefully, all the way up here. So let's stay tuned and see if we can see it a few more times. So this, again, is a gray whale, and it's come into our bay looking for some food. And so it's pretty rare this time of year to see one this close, but it does happen. And so let's see what we can get here. Hi there again, everyone. This is Luke, Park Ranger here at the Depot Bay Whale. There it is. It's so close. I was just kind of waiting for it to come up, but there is a whale less than 100 yards or so from us right here in front of our visitor center. And the problem when they're this close is I don't know where to point the camera. And so you kind of got to pan out a little bit in hopes that you catch them. But this is a gray whale that's been feeding in the bay for a little over an hour now, and this whale has been very difficult to track as well. It's only spouting one time usually before it dives down for a few minutes, and so we'll kind of keep an eye out here for this one, and hopefully we catch it on the camera a few more times. So thanks everybody for joining us. And let's see, we've got some people finding the feed here again. And awesome. Yep, 4 whales since checking in 11. You're welcome for the distraction. This is a fun way to come to the coast and look for whales. And so keep your eyes open here, everybody. We'll stay tuned and look for our whales here. If you are finding us again, we did have some difficulties here. Our cameras and our stream was turning off every few minutes, but we're back up, and I do have the resolution turned down just a little bit in hopes that we can keep streaming here without crashing our system. So we're going to look at some of our technical supplies here later today, and for the meantime we'll keep the camera up as long as we can. If it does crash again, we are just going to kind of call it today, and then in hopes of getting it up and running again tomorrow morning. So thanks everybody for being here. If you are just joining us, we have spotted over 12 whales already today. So it's been a really good day of whale watching so far on the Central Coast. So stay tuned. All right, well, we just had another spout from this whale right here in the bay. And so it has just been kind of hanging out in that one spot. Let me zoom out so you can see how close this actually is. So here's the shoreline. You can see the waves kind of crashing right on our shore. And that whale is just maybe a couple 100 feet away, probably less than that. And this is a pretty good sized gray whale, and it just goes to show how comfortable they are in this shallow water. You know, they'll come into 10, 20 feet of water pretty commonly, and they're looking for food like this. So stay tuned. Hopefully we get to see it a few more times. All right, I hope that person asking if whales sneeze is still watching the stream. I just had that whale blow some bubbles underwater, and I saw them come up to the top just where I zoomed the camera in. So maybe that was a whale sneeze. I don't know. That's probably pretty close. So this whale is just feeding, or at least searching for food, right in front of us right now. It's literally 100 feet away from where I'm standing, and so really good opportunity to see one of these animals up close. Hopefully we get a nice spout from it here on the camera. Zoom out just a little bit just to make sure I kind of catch where it is. If it goes any further to our north, I just can't see over there. There's a wall, and so we'll kind of keep our fingers crossed that that whale comes back into view right over here someplace. So we got quite a few people jumping back on the stream here today. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. I know we've had people from all over the world with us already today, and we've had a great morning of whale watching. Over a dozen whales we have spotted so far with the cameras, and so a lot of those whales have been out on the migration route, about 2 miles out, but then we've been pretty lucky here this last little bit. We've been trying to keep up with this whale that's right here in the bay, and now it's less than 100 feet away from shore, and so we're trying to get a good shot of it. So stay tuned. I'm going to get back on the camera and try to make sure we capture this one. I really hope everybody can see this. This whale is now just about 50 feet from shore, and it is swimming our way still. So this is pretty awesome. Let's see what this whale is doing. It's actually swimming right towards us still, based on the way that its tail was pointed there. So let's stay tuned. It is still right in front of us. This is a rare thing to see this time of year. In the summertime we do see this occasionally, but even then it's not every day, and so this is a pretty special treat to see one this close, especially this time of year. So let's stay tuned. I'll do my best to keep it on the camera here. All right, there it was again. It's still just kind of hanging out. Now it's swimming up to the north end of our bay here. I hope it doesn't go too far. I can't see much further than where we're pointed. So this is really exciting. This is a pretty good size whale right here in the bay, giving us an up close and personal look. So if we do get to see it again, watch, you'll see the big spout when it comes up to breathe, and then that's kind of how I locate them. I kind of watch for that, and then I can zoom in with the cameras and get a good view of its head and hopefully its body. So stay tuned. Hopefully we get another one out of it. Well, there was another little spout in a roll. This whale is definitely feeding, or at least trying to here. And looking in the comments here, that last breach looked like she had some wounds, some reddish markings on her side. I didn't see that. I did see some pretty good markings, just the black and white kind of splotches. Gray whales are actually quite diverse in their coloration. They can be very pale, gray to very, very dark black, and kind of everywhere in between. What we do see a lot of are just kind of individual markings, you know, scratches and dings and dents, just like we all get as we get older. And each gray whale, they do have a unique kind of pigmentation pattern, I guess you can say. And then over time, as they get different barnacles and different little critters attach themselves to their bodies, they do get some very unique individual markings. But I'll have to take a closer look. I'll see what we can see. But we do have some rain kind of moving in now, kind of blocking my view out the window, so hopefully it doesn't stick around too long. But if you're just joining us, we've got a whale less than 100 feet away, right in front of our building here, located on the shores of Depot Bay. And we're watching this whale as it's looking for some food right here in the bay. But I fear that it may have gone a little too far to the north where I can't look with our cameras any longer. So everyone, let's collectively will it to turn around and swim back in front of our windows here, please. I've been trying to tell it that there's lots of people who are watching it, so to come this way. So stay tuned. I'm gonna use my binoculars and kind of scan out on the horizon a little bit. Oh, I just saw a spout out by our half-mile buoy. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna back up off of this whale for now. Thank you, whale, for hanging out with us for a little bit. Let's go out here. Yeah, you can see the rain is starting to fall here in Depot Bay. If the visibility gets so bad, we will unfortunately kind of have to pull the plug on the stream. We're only able to see what we can see. And if we can't see, then we'll just kind of be done for the day. The weather this week, we're supposed to have kind of a mix today. We're supposed to have a little bit of rain overnight, maybe some showers tomorrow. And so hopefully we'll have a pretty good morning like we did today. If you're just joining us, we have spotted over a dozen whales so far today. Anywhere from several miles offshore to now we've just had this whale less than 50 feet from shore. So it's been a really good day of whale watching. But let me go ahead and just zoom the cameras out for a little bit. I'm just going to leave it backed out for now. I'll at least point it over here where we were watching that whale. I can't zoom out anymore through this rain. So stay tuned. Hopefully this rain shower will pass pretty soon and our windows will clear up, and then we will be back on whale watch. Hello again there, whale watchers. This is Luke, Park Ranger with Oregon State Parks here at the Depot Bay Whale Watching Center with you today. So we just had a pretty good rain shower pass by the last few minutes, and so we'll give our windows a few minutes to see if they dry off. If you're just joining us, we've had a extremely busy day of whale watching today. This morning when we first started our streams, we had 8 whales that we counted in the first 20 minutes. And so, very, very productive day. And then the last hour or so, we've been trying to track a whale that's been right here in the bay. And the last time we saw it, it was less than 50 feet away from shore before this rain kind of moved in. So it's been a really, really good day of whale watching. And it's been fun. And so hopefully this rain kind of moves by and we can see out our windows here again pretty soon. And then we'll get back on the whale watch. And so looks like the light's going to be pretty good. I might even get adventurous and go outside and try to squeegee our windows here if the rain does stop. It's still coming down pretty heavy, so stay tuned. We got quite a few people have jumped back on the feed again, up to 80 viewers, 81 as we're going. So thank you to everyone for joining us. I know a lot of people are inside right now and they wish they could come out to the coast, but you know, while we're in the middle of this health emergency, it's a good idea for all of us to just kind of hunker down, and we hope that you're able to enjoy this stream and see some whales and learn a little bit. And hey, I mean, hopefully there's some of you watching whales in your pajamas right now, so stay tuned. We'll give these windows a few minutes to dry off, and then we'll start looking around again with the camera. We should see a few more whales here. I did get word we're only going to stream until about 1 o'clock today, and so got some other stuff that we need to take care of here in our parks, but we'll plan on streaming until 1 o'clock here, our time, or we did have some camera failures earlier today. Our stream kept dropping, so if we do drop our stream again and it's not really wanting to come back, we'll just kind of end there. So thank you to everybody who has been joining us. If you've got any questions or comments, be sure to leave those in the chat box there below. I'd love to see where people are streaming us from. We've had people in Germany, in Florida, New Mexico, lots of folks in Oregon. So let us know where you're watching from, and if you've got any questions about whales, let me know. I'll do my best to answer those for you. Stay tuned. Happy whale watching. I've got the camera zoomed out kind of right between the 2 buoys out there. The buoy on the left, you can barely see it in your view there, that's a half-mile away. And there's a buoy out on your right, that red and white one, and I did just see a nice spout right in between them there. So we'll just kind of leave the camera there for a few minutes, and hopefully these windows will dry off pretty quick. Stay tuned. Happy whale watching. All right, everybody. Well, I just saw that whale again, another spout. It was just on the right side of the viewing screen, and now it should be somewhere closer to the middle. We've got another gray whale passing by us here in Depot Bay. We've seen over a dozen whales so far today, so this is number 13 or 14 or 15, something like that. Kind of hard to keep track. There's been so many going by this morning, but we'll kind of leave the camera right here for a few minutes, and hopefully we'll get another few looks at it. All right, everybody. Well, if you've been with us for a little while, you'll remember we had a whale right in the bay, just about 50 feet from shore, and now it's moved out a little bit further. It's about a quarter mile away or so, just to our north, and trying to keep track of it over here in these waves. This area of our bay is called the North Reef, and it's another pretty popular feeding area for these gray whales in the summertime. So this whale, I would assume, has been to Depot Bay before and kind of knows where to go look, where all the good restaurants are. So we'll kind of watch over here and see if we see it spout again. It might be a little more difficult because of these waves, but we'll see what we can get. So we've got this whale in really close, about a quarter mile away. We have another whale swimming by us that's about 3/4 of a mile away or so. And so again, it's been a pretty good day of whale watching, and this is kind of what we expect this time of year, this springtime migration. It's just a steady stream of whales kind of heading by us one after another here. So I hope you're enjoying the stream today. Take a look at the comments here, and hey Lorene, I hope you guys made it home safe and sound. I know you had a nice long drive back there, but thank you again for all your help over the last couple months, and I hope to work with you guys again soon. So if anybody else has any questions or comments, go ahead and leave us a note in our chat, and I can see them, and I'll try to answer them over the microphone here. So thanks again for being here. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. This is Luke, Park Ranger here at the Depot Bay Whale Center. Had a couple more comments, questions come in on the chat. is it possible to tell the species of a whale if you see the tail? That's not the only thing that scientists and researchers use when they're looking or trying to identify the whale species, but it is a very good way to start. And so if you can get a good photo of the tail of a whale, yes, some very, very skilled whale researchers or observers would be instantly able to tell you what kind of whale that is. But some species of whales don't really show their tail a whole lot, and so it can be more difficult. What we use a lot, I mean, obviously these gray whales, they can come really, really close to shore, so we get a good look at them. But certain times of year, we kind of look in different distances, and that can tell us a lot about the kind of whales that are out there. These gray whales, they feed on stuff, little plankton species that only live really close to shore. And so most likely you would never see a gray whale 20 miles out in the ocean looking for food, because there's just no food for it out there. Now, on the opposite of that, 20 miles out, that's a really good place to look for humpback whales. You know, that's where a lot of krill and anchovies and different kinds of bait fish are typically on the Oregon coast anyway, 15, 20, 30 miles out or more. And so you got to use a lot of different techniques when you're trying to identify the species of whale. Another technique, or another kind of sign that we use, is the spout, the shape of the spout even. Oh, I see another whale. Let me try to get out here to it. Gray whales have this kind of a bushy blow, and if you can actually see a whale coming right towards you or directly away from you, it'll be kind of a V-shaped blow, or even some people will say it looks kind of like a heart. And typically it's about 10 to 12 feet tall. Humpback whales have a more straight up and down blow. It's less of a V shape, it's more of a column, and it can be quite a bit higher, maybe even 15 feet or more. And so the other thing, like these gray whales, with the exception of that big group that we saw this morning, they're all kind of by themselves. And so gray whales don't really form pods or groups of whales. They're usually just kind of ones, maybe ones and twos, like this. And so if you just see a singular whale swimming around pretty close to shore and you're in Oregon, it's most likely a gray whale. And if you see a whole bunch of spouts all together, maybe towards the horizon, that's going to be a pretty good indication that those might be some humpback whales. And we typically see our humpback whales on the central Oregon coast kind of in July and August. That's kind of a time of year when some of that herring and anchovies or other bait fish kind of gets pushed a little bit closer to shore, maybe in that 3 to 5 mile range, and you can see them pretty regularly. So I know that's a super long way of answering that question. Can you tell the kind of a whale by a tail? But yes, kind of. Yes, and lots of different ways. Let's see, you got some more stuff coming through. What are the whales hunting for and eating this time of year? Tigger time. All right, so the whales, these gray whales, most of them are not actually stopping to eat. Oh, there's a nice spout right over here now. But these ones that did come into the bay, they're looking for a tiny little zooplankton called a mysid shrimp. That's M-Y-S-I-D shrimp. And they bloom by the billions here in the summertime in our kelp forests, which are just underwater here in Depot Bay and in this whole section of the Oregon coast. So do a quick internet search and look for mysid shrimp. They're pretty common all around the world, little different species wherever you go, but a very, very important piece of the food chain. And here in Depot Bay in the summertime, that's the primary target for all of these whales. So, these whales can be 40 feet long and weigh 40 tons, and all they're eating is a shrimp that's the size of a grain of rice. Now, don't get me wrong, they're eating a lot of it, maybe up to 2,000 pounds or more per day, but it's pretty amazing that these huge animals can sustain themselves on such a tiny little food species. And let's see. I don't see any more questions right now. Well, there's one more down there, kind of. Thanks for the stream. Is there a schedule available for when the live stream will be happening? So we have the live streaming all week. This is the spring 2020 Whale Watch week here in Oregon. And so we plan on live streaming every day until next Sunday, that I believe is the 29th of March. And we're going to be doing this. Myself and some other park rangers will be taking turns behind the camera here, trying to find whales for everybody to see. And then I hope that we are able to stream a little more throughout the year, but it's kind of up. It's believe it or not, it's somewhat staff intensive, and so we will see what we can do. But I hope to be able to bring streams to you, everybody, a little more frequently throughout the year. But for right now, I can tell you that we will be streaming every day from 10 a.m. Pacific time until a good couple hours. Today we're going to end at 1 p.m. our time. But typically we run until about 2 o'clock every day if we can. So thanks for all the questions and comments. I see we've got over 100 live viewers again. It's just awesome. Thank you everybody for joining us. And let me put down the microphone for a little bit and get serious and try to find a few more whales. And as soon as I do, I will zoom on out there with our camera and get a good look. All right, everybody. Well, this is Luke back here in Depot Bay. I do see some whales. They're way, way out using my binoculars, so I'm just going to leave the camera pointed at the half-mile buoy right now. And when I see a few whales come in a little closer, we'll try to zoom out to them. But right now, they're probably 3 or 4 miles away, so I'm not even going to try to strain out there with the camera right now. But yeah, it's been a really good day. We're probably in that 13, 14 whales for the day total. Probably more have swam past us. We kind of got distracted by the whale that was 50 feet from shore for a little while. So if you're just joining us, you can kind of rewind this video. And we had a gray whale literally just a few hundred feet from shore. And there was one time it was less than 50 feet away. Pretty amazing. And so, pretty good day of whale watching so far. So, let's see, any other comments come through? Nope, I think we're doing good. So, thanks everybody for joining us here. We've got over 100 people with us again right now. So, thank you wherever you're joining us from, and stay tuned for some more whales. All right, everybody. Well, this is Luke, Park Ranger here at the Depot Bay Whale Watching Center. And, this whale over here is kind of teasing me. I keep seeing it, and every time I go back over here to get a good look at it, it dives underwater for a long time. This, if you're just joining us, this is a whale that was with us right in the bay a little bit ago for about an hour. And it was feeding really, really close to shore. It's a nice, big, good-sized whale. And so I'll leave the camera kind of pointed over here, and hopefully we see another nice big spout from it. Just to the north of here, I can't get the camera pointed in the right direction, but there's a huge flurry of birds diving into the water and all sorts of stuff. And so I'm assuming there's some kind of a big bait ball or upwelling of some fish and all sorts of stuff out in the ocean, but I just can't quite get the camera over there. So we had a little bit of rain. We've got a lot of sun actually today, so pretty good day for whale watching. Leave the camera pointed here for a few more minutes, and hopefully we'll have a few more of these gray whales come into our view here. You know, and this whale that we've been watching in the bay, this is, there was a spout. Did I get it on the camera? Probably not. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get it put in the right direction here. Sometimes these whales will just kind of pull over in these little bays and look for a snack and then kind of keep heading north, just like this whale is doing. So lots to look at here today. Stay tuned. Hello again there, whale watchers. This is Luke, park ranger here at the Depot Bay Whale Watching Center. Just picked up another whale just past our 1 mile buoy out here. Try to zoom out to it here if we can. Sorry, we're trying to see through a few raindrops here still on our windows. And so this is another gray whale, it looks like. And hopefully we get to see it again. It was a pretty nice big tall spout. Gonna keep our eyes out here. So that buoy just on the left side of your screen, that is 1 mile away. And this whale was just kind of behind it, traveling towards the right. So let me see if we can't find another, if we can't catch it on the camera again. If you're just joining us, we've got a wonderful day of whale watching so far. This is going to be whale number 14 or 15, somewhere in that neighborhood. We've had pretty good weather all in all. This morning when we first started streaming, we had 8 whales that we spotted within just about 15 or 20 minutes. And then we've just been kind of slowly seeing one after another here most of the day. So this is another one, definitely out on that migration route, out in that nice deep water, kind of swimming straight up to Alaska. So these whales have already been swimming north for over a month at this point, pretty much non-stop. And so they left Baja, Mexico around the end of February. And now here we are, a little over 3 weeks into March, and they're still just kind of swimming along. They have another 4 or 5, maybe even 6 weeks of swimming north before they get to where they really are going, all the way up in Alaska. And so we're just trying to catch a glimpse of them as they're passing our Oregon coast. So far today we've only seen the spouts, a few of the backs, no big tails, no big deep dives, no breaching or anything like that yet, but it has been a very active day of whale watching. So I see we got 130 some folks on the live stream now. We're approaching record live stream territory for us. So send this out to your friends. Let's see how many folks we can get on here at once. It's always great to see where people are joining us from. So if you haven't commented yet and you're able to, let us know in that chat bar where in the world you are streaming us from. We have already had visitors from Germany. We've had visitors from many, many states. But let us know where you are watching from, as we're all home, kind of hunkering down right now. So thank you again for being here with us, and let me try to find these whales with the camera so we can all enjoy them together. Alright, so I just had a really nice big spout out here just past our 1 mile buoy, a little bit to the north, and this is that whale I've been kind of tracking for about the last 15 minutes or so. So hopefully I've got the camera pointed in the right spot out there, and we'll see if it comes up again. Just taking a look at some of the comments here. We've got some people chiming in. We've got Portland, Oregon City, up in Washington State. Awesome. Somebody else in Portland. Somebody in North Portland. All right, Columbus, Ohio, you are winning right now. You are the furthest whale watcher away at the moment. We've got other folks in Oregon. Well, welcome to everybody, wherever you're from. I see we're kind of hovering right around the 150 live viewer mark, so let's see how many people we can get. We're only going to be streaming for about another 20 minutes or so today. We will be turning the cameras off a little after 1 o'clock Pacific time today, but let's see how many people we can get on the live stream between now and 1 o'clock. If we can get over 200 viewers, I bet I can convince my boss to let me go a little bit longer. So thank you everybody for being here with us today. I'm going to keep my eyes out. We'll try to get as many whales on the cameras here as we can between now and when we shut off the stream. So if you want to learn more about whale watching in Oregon, be sure to check out the Oregon State Parks website. That's OregonStateParks.org. And then there's a little Things to Do tab, and you can click on that and learn all about the best places to go whale watching in Oregon. Now we remind everybody, we know we're all kind of hunkering down right now, but all summer long there will be whales visible here in Depot Bay and along much of the Central Oregon coast. So when we're all kind of done staying home, we hope that we can meet a lot of folks who are joining us here on these live streams. And I know that we've had lots of visitors in the past who have come and said that they've seen us on the cameras before and they wanted to come check this place out. So I hope you're enjoying the stream again today, and stay tuned. We'll try to find a few more whales here. All right, I hope everybody saw that there's a whale directly behind the 1 mile buoy. It was just a little bit back and to the right. Hopefully we see another spout from it here momentarily. Looking at the comments again, we've got New Jersey, Indiana, Eugene. Hello, Alice and Julian. Alaska, awesome. Welcome, Alaska. We've seen a few humpbacks this season already. Awesome. Louisiana, awesome. I think you're the first person from Louisiana in quite a while, so that's awesome. I hope you're enjoying the view of our Central Oregon coast here. Oh, Ireland is winning. Hello, Clara from Ireland. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. So thanks again, everybody, for chiming in. We love to see where people are watching us from, and I hope that you're enjoying the feed so far today. Hello again, whale watchers. This is Luke, park ranger here at the Depot Bay Whale Watching, one of the centers, excuse me. This is one of many beautiful Oregon State parks. Today we've been watching whales all day, and I just had one come back into the bay. If you have been with us for a while this morning, you'll remember we had a gray whale right inside the bay, less than a couple hundred feet away from shore. And it looks like it's kind of circled back, and now it's just coming back into the bay. So I've got the cameras pointed, it's about a quarter mile away in the bay here. I just saw that whale coming back into view, so we'll try to keep up with that one. We have seen quite a few whales out on the migration route so far today. The last one I spotted was about 2 miles or so out. And so we've seen 15 or 16 whales already today. It's been a really, really good day, kind of in between the rain showers. So we'll see if we can't get a view of this whale as it's a little closer in the bay here. So let's see what we can do. Let me double check the comments here. If anybody has any questions, let me know. We'll try to get them answered. We've got some folks in Idaho and Veneta and Redmond. Awesome. Well, wherever you are from, I hope you're really enjoying the stream today. We've had like I said, a great day of whale watching so far. We've seen lots of spouts and a few of the whales' backs, but nothing overly exciting yet. I know on Saturday, the stream from Saturday, Ranger Peter was up here, and he did have a whale breach or jump out of the water 3 times, and I think he caught it on camera. I think he said at least 1 time, so that's always exciting. We did have a question earlier today, why do the whales jump? And they don't really, researchers don't really know. A couple theories are that maybe they have like an itch on their back and they just want to try to scratch it. Or there's definitely times when a whale will kind of breach out of the water as kind of not necessarily a threat to other whales, but as kind of a, hey, I'm in the area, just kind of leave me alone type of thing. But this time of year, we see our breaches happen, and it's usually 2 or 3 breaches in a row. It's very rarely just 1 time. And so I think it's because they're excited to see us again. No, in all seriousness, we don't really know. I think if I weighed 40 tons and could jump out of the water, I think I would give it a shot every once in a while. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to find this whale that's in really close here. The weather has actually really cooperated for us today. It's just beautiful now. We have really good contrast, dark blue ocean, nice light sky. Makes these spouts really stand out. So if they are out there, I'll do my best to find them and get them on the camera for y'all. So thanks again for joining us. If you want to learn about the latest information about all the Oregon State Parks closures that were announced last night, be sure to check out the Oregon State Park website, oregonstateparks.org. And stay tuned for some more whales. Thanks. Hello again, whale watchers. So this whale that has returned to the bay, presumably to look for some more food, I have a 99% certainty guess that it's the same whale that we were watching earlier today. Each whale tends to have kind of a unique spouting or breathing pattern. And so what we notice throughout the year is if, for example, a whale spouts 3 times and then dives and shows its tail, it usually does that every time. And this whale that we've been watching for the last couple hours in the bay here, it spouts 1 time, really big, and then it goes underwater for 3, 4, 5 minutes. And so it's definitely kind of a unique spouting pattern. Something we don't see very often, but it does happen. So we'll try to catch this one on the camera here. All right, I just barely got that spout that time. It was kind of on the left side of the screen. I was kind of thinking here it was about time that whale came back up. So I'm going to set my watch and see how long it goes between spouts and see if we can't figure out a pattern for this one. So if you're just joining us, we've got lots of people on the stream here now. I said if we got over 200 live viewers, I would keep going, and look at that. We're at 216 and still kind of going up. So let's see. Any sightings today from Christopher? Yes, we have had about 15 or 16 whales today. It's been a really good day so far. Lots of whales out a couple miles out migrating for sure, like heading straight north from our left to our right. And then we've had a couple whales feeding in the bay a lot closer. And so this whale that we're trying to watch right now, right at the moment, it's about 3/4 of a mile away. But maybe an hour and a half ago, it was only about 50 feet from shore. So it's pretty much a typical spring day. We've got a mix of whales, some feeding, but a lot of them just out migrating. So yeah, it's been a great day. All gray whales so far. About the camera we're using, this is I think it's called a bridge camera. It's a Sony RX10, and it allows us to see pretty well out into the water, but the biggest thing is it provides us a platform to do some live video like this. And so this camera over the last few years has helped. Oh, I got another whale. It's in a lot closer here too. So let's see if we can't get this one. It's just right under this pyramid looking cloud here. So this is a different whale. It's in really close now. This one's only about 1/4 mile away. So we'll see if we can't see this one again. But anyway, the camera, if you've been in our visitor center here, there it was. I think it was kind of in the top left of your screen. Try to get it in the center there. It's blowing some bubbles. Let's see if we can get another view of this one. This visitor center here in Depot Bay every year has like 170-some thousand people come through it, and these cameras are up all the time in our visitor center when we are open, and they really help people see what's going on, because not everybody's great with binoculars, and so these cameras are a great tool for helping a lot of people see what's going on out there. So what else? And when will we get a much better one? Yeah, good question. So we are limited by the fact that we're actually filming through glass, and so our windows do kind of limit some of our exposure. But really a lot of these whales, we're looking a few miles away, and this camera, it does a pretty good job for what it is. No, we're not logging any of these whales on the app yet, but I should. You're right. Thanks, Lorene. Alice asks, why do they migrate? And so we went over this a little earlier today, but I know we got a whole lot of new people here with us. So gray whales migrate from Baja, Mexico, all the way to Alaska every year. And the number one reason that they do that is so they can keep making more gray whales, basically. When the little baby whales are born, the calves, they're called, they are born down in Baja, Mexico in the wintertime, kind of February. And they go down there because the water is nice and warm and protected. When the little baby gray whales are first born, they don't have any blubber on their bodies yet, very little. They have very little body fat. And so if that whale was born, say for example here, our water is only 53 or 54 degrees Fahrenheit. That's way too cold for these whales to survive. And so they have to have some warmer water. So where they're born, down in Mexico, the water is like 80 degrees. It's kind of like a big bathtub. It's a nice nursery. And so the whales are born down there, and then all the other whales, the males and the other female whales, oh, there's the spout. Let me see if I can zoom in on it here. The males and the other females are breeding at that time. So kind of end of January, early February is kind of the time that that's all happening. Now the gestation period for a gray whale is somewhere right around a year. It's right around 12 months. And so all of the gray whales, I should say most, like 99% of the gray whales meet in Baja, Mexico in the wintertime. They're breeding and giving birth. Now they hang out there for a month or two, but they can't stay there year round because there's no food in the water there. So they have to swim all the way back north to Alaska to find enough food to sustain themselves. And so a lot of people, if you've been on a cruise up in Alaska on the Inside Passage, you've seen humpback whales most commonly, maybe a few gray whales. But these gray whales actually go all the way around the Aleutian Islands, keep going north, all the way up by like Nome, way up, basically the top of the world. And that's the only place that they can find enough food to sustain themselves. These gray whales, they only eat small little amphipods or little zooplankton species, like tiny, tiny stuff. And they can only find enough of that stuff up in the mud, way up in the Arctic Circle. So in the summer, like we're kind of getting there now, these whales, when they go to that part of Alaska, it's daylight, 24 hours a day. And so they can literally feed all day, all summer long. So think, April, May, June, July, August, September, October even, they're able to feed nonstop. And as kind of the ice retreats, they're able to find more and more area for them to go feed in. So hopefully that helps answer that question. They migrate down to Mexico to find the warm water to give birth in so that their little babies survive. So pretty cool. Let's see, 211 watchers. Oh, I know, it's amazing. Great questions, everybody. So, Ranger Luke, can you give a shout out to whale lover Calvin in Portland? Hey Calvin, I hope you're enjoying the stream. I hope you've seen some whales. I'm going to do my best here to keep the cameras going. Hey, Oregon State Parks, I'm going to call you in just a minute, all right? So hang tight, everybody. Let's find some more whales. All right, whale watchers. Well, I just saw a spout way out behind our 1 mile buoy. I'm not sure if anybody was able to see that, but that was a big whale, probably 2.5 or 3 miles away. So it's pretty cool. It's been a really good day. We've had, so that puts us at whale number 17 probably, since about 10 a.m. So it's been a very productive day. Lots and lots of gray whales passing by us this time of year, so pretty awesome. I'm really happy we're able to share this with everybody. We've got a lot of people with us right now, so this is awesome. Let's see. Bella and Callia say, whale hello there. Whale hello there to you too. So Madeline asked, when do the babies and mothers migrate? Great question. And so the whales that we're watching right now, these ones are most likely the males and the female gray whales that are newly pregnant. And so it would be very rare for us to see a mother and a calf this time of year. Typically those mother gray whales and the little babies will stay. Oh, there's a whale right in front of the 1 mile buoy here, sorry. Typically those mothers and babies, and there's a whale behind the 1 mile buoy, so we've got 2 whales visible now. One of them's in front of that buoy and the other one is behind it. So let me see if I can't get it centered here. Typically those mother gray whales and their new babies will stay down in Baja, Mexico a few extra weeks. There's a whale just spouted behind the buoy. Hopefully you can see that. Let me zoom out to that one here. And those mothers are nursing that baby calf. They're mammals, just like all mammals, they drink milk when they're first born. And now those babies are nursing and they're putting on weight and putting on blubber, basically, remember, to keep them warm. And so they're there for maybe another month and a half. And those mother gray whales are just kind of actually teaching that baby how to be a whale. And so they're swimming around the lagoons. There's even been some documented cases where as the tide kind of comes and goes, those mothers will push their babies out into these little deeper channels. And then as the tide's going one way or the other, the mother is kind of like nudging that baby, like, hey, go out there and swim. Go for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Kind of like a gray whale treadmill, if you will. And so, it takes a lot of energy to swim 6,000 miles like these whales are doing. And so they kind of got to practice and get into shape before they just start doing it. So we typically see the gray whale mothers and calves here in the Depot Bay area kind of in the May and June timeline. That's kind of the most common time. Now there will be a few that go earlier and a few that might go later, but it's pretty safe to say that kind of mid-May through mid-June is when we see the bulk of our mothers and calves past the Central Oregon coast. So great question. Lori asked, do the gray whales jump out of the water as far as the humpbacks do? I have never seen a gray whale come all the way out of the water. Typically they'll breach and it'll be, a half of their body or 3/4 of their body. But that's about it. That's all I've seen. I've never seen them come all the way out. Somebody just shared a photo with us of a humpback whale, like completely out of the water. And that's just incredible. And so and that's just my personal experience. I have never seen a gray whale jump all the way out of the water, but they do jump quite a bit. And Michael asks, is the live feed from the Whale Watching Center in Depot Bay? Yep, that's where I'm sitting right now. We are inside our visitor center. Oh, there's that whale, just came up right in front of the buoy. Look at that, perfect. Good job, camera guy, right? Sometimes you get lucky and you just have it pointed in the right spot. Yes, so I'm right inside our visitor center here, located in Depot Bay. Hopefully a lot of people will be able to come and see us sometime in the future. Not right now, of course, but in the coming months and years. We're just finishing installing a whole new interpretive display. New exhibits have been installed in here, and we are super excited to share that with everybody, but I think everybody understands why we're closed right now. So, yep, great question. And Madeline asks, how long have I been a ranger here? I have been working at the Depot Bay Whale Center with a bunch of other great folks for about 5 years now. So this is a pretty amazing part of the Oregon coast, and I feel very lucky to be able to share this with everybody. So awesome. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Ooh, one more question came up here. How many whales travel together pod size? Great question, Christopher. So gray whales actually don't form pods. We typically see just one whale at a time, kind of like this. And so other species of whales definitely do form pods, but typically gray whales, we won't see more than one or two animals at a time. Now this morning, when we first started streaming, we did see about 8 whales in 15 minutes. And they were just kind of densely packed together. But even those whales, even though they're right next to each other, I personally wouldn't feel comfortable calling them a pod of whales. How it's been explained to me is, there's so many whales traveling by us right now, literally thousands and thousands of whales. Sometimes there's just kind of like a whale traffic jam. And so I think about it sometimes when you're driving on I-5. Sometimes you're the only car for, a half mile in either direction. And other times you're one of like 50 cars and everybody's kind of stuck together behind that one slow person. Same kind of thing happens here, where sometimes the whales just get kind of bottlenecked up. So these gray whales don't tend to form pods. Great question though, so. All right, well, I'm going to stop talking for a few minutes, get my coffee, and find a few more whales to look at. So stay tuned, everybody. Thanks for all the questions. Hello again, whale watchers. This is Luke, Park Ranger here at the Depot Bay Whale Center. Okay, I just picked up another whale off to our south. Oh, it might be more than one. So let's go zoom in and see if we can count a few more gray whales here. Okay, so there's one just in the bottom left of the screen there, more in the center now. Let's see, I thought I saw something further back there too. We'll see what this whale is doing. This might actually be, oh, there is one in the back right also. So two more whales coming into view here. And let me try to get the camera adjusted a little bit more. If you're just joining us, it's been a really good day of whale watching. This would be whale 17 and 18 for us here since about 10 o'clock this morning. And I know we missed a few. One we had a gray whale that we were watching. We were totally distracted by it, but it was only like 100 feet away. So lots of whale activity today in Depot Bay. The weather has actually been pretty cooperative, and we did have a little bit of rain earlier, but it's been pretty decent most of the day. So there's that little whale spout kind of in the center back there. It's not a huge one. Let me try to get as close as we can here to it. There it is, a little spout again right in the center. You know, this whale actually looks like it's swimming south, and so this is actually probably one of the whales that we were watching a half hour ago or so as they kind of swam into the bay again. So I take that back. We're still at 16 whales. These ones appear to be most likely the two that were kind of headed back into the bay from north to south. So either way, they're still whales, so we will watch them as long as we can. It's been, like I said earlier, just a really good day of whale watching, and I hope you're enjoying the cameras from wherever you are. Let me go ahead and get my binoculars back out and see if I can't find a few more. All right, everybody. Well, I was kind of scanning around with my binoculars, and there's actually probably 3 or 4 whales out there right now, but they're way back. And so I know I can't quite reach them with the camera, but I've got it zoomed in. There is a little whale. Actually, there's 2. So they're at different distances here. Let me zoom in as close as we can. So there's one whale kind of in the center left, and there's another one kind of all the way in the top center. A couple different distances, but these look like gray whales again, just singular whales heading north. There's one in the back, as we're getting a little wind here on the water, it's getting a little trickier to see them, but they're still out there. So I will go ahead and count 2 more whales for sure. So we're at 18 whales here for the day. Conservatively, 18 whales. It's been a really, really good day. Even though the weather isn't perfect, we're still able to see quite a few. So a great day of whale watching. So we are going to be shutting down the stream in about 15 minutes or so. Have to get on to some other duties here for today, but I'm really happy we're able to share this with everybody today. It's been a really, really good day of whale watching, so we'll be back at it again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Cross your fingers for good weather. This live stream will be on the Oregon State Parks YouTube channel from now every day starting at 10 a.m. Until March 29th. I think it's next Sunday. So hopefully we'll see lots more whales between now and then. Again, we really appreciate everybody giving all of our parks a break right now. This weekend we had a huge influx of people, and it was something that we did not see coming. And so a lot of our parks were busier over this last weekend than they are on a typical 4th of July weekend. And so given kind of the current state of affairs, if you're just joining us, last night the Oregon State Parks communications team announced that all state parks are going to be closed starting today at 5 p.m. And that's campgrounds and day use areas, all of it, just in hopes to help people kind of hunker down for a little bit right now and give our resources a break and help protect not only our staff and our volunteers, but also the other visitors who will come in the future. And so we really appreciate everybody's teamwork on this. This is a pretty big, this is a new thing, you know, but we want to make sure that we're being safe and everybody's doing our part. So, and, there's some huge spouts. Let me get out over here. It's pretty easy to get distracted by whales here too. So let me go back out to our buoy. There was a couple really big spouts straight back there. So thank you again for everybody's support and understanding in this. Oh, there's a spout right behind the buoy. Let me get even closer here. And like I said, we will all be hanging out together virtually for the next few days. And I know we were over 200 visitors or viewers at the same time for a while, so pretty awesome day. Definitely setting a new record for us here at the Whale Watch Center on the Oregon State Parks YouTube channel. So thank you everybody for joining us. We'll be streaming, like I said, for about another 15 minutes or so, and then we'll be shutting it down for tonight. So if you have any last-minute burning whale questions, be sure to let me know, and we'll try to get them answered here. Thanks again. All right, whale watchers. Well, that whale that we were just looking at has just kind of gone out of our view up there to the north. That gray whale was probably 3 miles away or so, quite a ways out, but had a nice big tall spout, so we were able to see it even though it was out there so far. I've got the camera kind of zoomed in back on our half-mile buoy, and I just saw one of our little whales that's been in the bay all morning pop up again right between us and the 1 mile buoy. So let me go right there. Should be a good spot if it decides to come back up again. So we'll be kind of winding down here in the next 10 minutes or so, and hopefully we'll see another whale or two in that time. Tigger Time asks, how do whales remember, in quotes, remember areas to come back for feeding, and what senses do they use? Great questions. Again, these animals being out in the ocean, it's really hard to get an exact, understanding of what's going on, but it's thought that they have a pretty good sense of smell, and they're able to locate different food maybe throughout their sense of smell or taste. Hard to say. Oh, I'm seeing a bunch of whales out here by the 1 mile buoy now. A little bit off to the north of it. 2 different whales spouting out there. But as for how do they remember, that's really hard. One thought is that, as the baby is the calf, they're with their mother for those first 7 or 8 months of their life. And if your mom takes you someplace, that's kind of where you know to go. And so typically, for example, our whales that we have here in Depot Bay in the summertime, if a mother brings her calf here to Depot Bay to spend the summer with us in this surrounding area, for year after year, we typically see that calf, or it was a calf, now it's a growing, and it's an adult gray whale for year after year. And so they just kind of show up in the same spot that their mother brought them. Now, there's not a whole lot of research that kind of looks at, 20 years from now, does that whale still only go to Depot Bay, or does it go up to Alaska with the other whales? Nobody really knows, and so that's a great question for some future scientists, future researchers, to kind of understand how much do these gray whales really move around throughout their life. These whales can live 70 or 80 years, and so they have a long life. And don't get me wrong, I really like Depot Bay, but I want to go check out Alaska sometime. I hear it's nice. So who knows? It's a good question. Other whale species, they know that they use the magnetic poles to navigate with, and so the gray whales might be able to use some of that. It's hard to say, but great question. All right, well, thanks to everybody. Looks like, we're back up to over 180 viewers. That's awesome. We will be cutting the cameras off here in about 7 minutes at 1:45 Pacific time today, just a few minutes early. But we will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm going to try to jump in. I just looked at our YouTube page, the Oregon State Parks, and it looks like for today, the day 3 of Whale Watch Week, there's like 3 or 4 videos. I'm going to do my best to kind of compress those all into one to make it a little less confusing for folks. But I think I got our issue figured out that was plaguing us this morning. So there's that whale. Oh, did I get it on the stream? I hope so. It was a nice big spout. Oh, just about 3/4 of a mile out here. Pretty amazing day. So I hope you've enjoyed the camera. And like I said, another 5 or 6 minutes, I'll be zooming around, trying to get everybody a few last-minute whales. So thanks again. Well, hello again there, whale watchers. For the last time, this is Ranger Luke here at the Depot Bay Whale Watching Center, beautiful Oregon State Park Visitor Center. We're just wrapping up for the day. There is one whale kind of like right between us and that 1 mile buoy, but the weather and the light are starting to get a little tricky, so I'll do the best that I can to get everybody one last look at a whale here this afternoon. Just want to remind everybody we will be back up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We'll be doing this all over again as we celebrate the 2020 Spring Whale Watch Week here along the Oregon coast. We thank everybody for practicing some excellent social distancing, hanging out at home. Hopefully you're watching whales, sitting on your couch. There are whales all over the place today. And so I see there's a question in there, how is the whale count overall this year? And so far, everything looks pretty typical. You know, I think we will end our day today with somewhere around 20 whales spotted from just me here in the visitor center for the last few hours. You know, and that's pretty typical this time of year. There's just days like this where we're going to see, you know, if I sat here all day or had a partner to help kind of scan also, we could probably count 30 or 40 whales on a day like today if we were really, really serious about counting every single whale that went by. But so far the whale reports look, you know, pretty typical. And so I know there's one way in the back. Let me try to zoom in on it here. So this time of year, we're like 100% dependent on the weather. You know, and today it just cooperated enough that we were able to have pretty good visibility and see lots of these whales swim by. So there will be days like this, and there will be days when we have so much rain and wind, we can't even see out the window. But so far, I mean, so good. We're seeing quite a few whales swim by, and so that makes me pretty optimistic here for the rest of the week. I know tomorrow the weather is supposed to be kind of like this. Some showers, they're saying, kind of moving through. And so we'll just have to be patient. But I think Wednesday and Thursday look pretty good. And then I think the rain does come back again towards the end of the week. So we'll just have to wait and see. All right. Well, I think that's about it for today. Again, I just want to remind everybody, if you want to learn more about whale watching in Oregon, you can visit the main Oregon State Parks website. That's www.oregonstateparks.org. And we know that everybody's home right now, hunkering down, and so we'll be bringing you this live stream every day for the next week or so. And I hope that this can bring you a little bit of joy, looking out our windows here, seeing whales, seeing some sea lions, and just enjoying some of the beauty that the Oregon coast has to offer. So thanks again, everybody. It was a great day. I hope to see a lot of you back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your afternoon and evening, and happy whale watching.